Yes, guys, welcome back to Chasing Green Arrows. It might be the international break, but we are still here bringing you live videos, and hello to everyone watching on Catch Up as well. We are counting down the days already for the return of Premier League football, and with that, FPL, and I'm joined by regular co-host, journalist and FPL enthusiast who's beaten me this season. In fact, he's having a great season, Mr. Dean Jones. Dean, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Great might be a stretch, but good I'll take at this point.
What's your rank?
Good start, then a dip, and then a good last couple of weeks before we tailed off into another international break. So yeah, it's fine, mate. Everything good here. I, like everybody else, am ready for the domestic action again. It's just kind of like sucks the life out of you, doesn't it? Like you just start to get into this, and then it's like, stop. We're gonna have a 2-week break. Stop. We're gonna have a 2. It's like, come on. Can we please just enjoy this game? Like, we are all here for the Premier League. And I know these games are somewhat important because we're gearing up to an actual World Cup. There's got to be a better way of doing this. Hello to everybody who's joining us. It'll be interesting to see how many people jump on today. I noticed with Ranks FC, the dip that just happened as soon as we're into an international break, even if we're reflecting on what's just happened in the Premier League, as soon as those games finish, everyone kind of just goes underground for like 10 days and then reappears. But we've come back a couple of days earlier than a lot of channels probably are. And it's because we want to revive you all. We want to get you back into the FPL mode. I was looking at my team this morning. My kids were looking at their teams this morning. One of my kids played his Wildcard this morning. So I'm excited. I'm ready for this episode, mate.
Yeah, I mean, even the biggest YouTuber in the space, Let's Talk FPL, he only dropped his first video for the last 7 days. His first one in 7 days was this morning. I've just checked. So even he goes on a break.
He runs the place, right?
And he pretty much, he's the cartel. David says, first time in the live stream, watched all your work, Gianni. Great stuff. Favorite FPL content for me. David, thank you. We love it when a regular comes in and says hello in the chat. Don't be a lurker, guys. Come say hi.
No, it's great. Thanks for coming and watching the channel. We've got a lot to talk about today. We've got to look at where our goals are coming from and where our points are coming from. Do we need to wildcard, or can we just make 1 or 2 transfers that get us through? What do we do with Mo Salah? Saka's the big one that people are going to be wanting to get in this week. I'm probably bringing him in. We'll talk about whether you should be as well. Voltemada continues to score goals. Is he the best backup striker to Erling Haaland? One of our elite members has sent in his Team G for us to have a look over because he's wondering if he should play a wild card. So I'm going to show that towards the end of the show. Kai, we will be with you. And along the way, I want to look at some stats around Mateta, who seems like he's having a good season, but it should be much, much better.
Oh, should be so much better. I can't wait to have the Mateta chat. And when we do that, we'll touch on Voltemada too, because there are 2 big forwards that people are looking at for so many reasons. You might see Mateta in my wildcard draft, but we'll show the wildcard draft when we get to the big dilemma from Kai, because he's got a team like many where you might have a wildcard in your pocket, but you might also have 3 or 4 free transfers, and therefore you're like, okay, maybe I play the wildcard and keep carrying those transfers, or maybe I don't need it at all. So we'll get to that. Where shall we start the chat? I feel like we should probably start with. I mean, we did a big Arsenal deep dive, so we won't talk Saka too much, but part of the Saka conversation is Mo Salah. I just want to bring up the Arsenal fixtures just to show you why so many will be beelining for someone like a Bukayo Saka. And we've got a graphic here which show the Arsenal fixtures with Saka. And I look at the next 4 and I just think he's going to be, we know he's the Arsenal star boy. But Fulham away and Palace at home aren't great fixtures. They're both London derbies, but you see Arsenal probably keeping clean sheets in one of them, if not both, and scoring a couple of goals. Burnley and Sunderland, yes, they're on the road, but they're still big upside fixtures. And I look at these 4 and just go, if you can get there, Saka is the player to buy right now in midfield if you've got money to spend.
Yeah, I think so. as I say, I've got 2 transfers up my sleeve this week, and Saka's the one I want. I've already got 2 Arsenal assets. I've got Declan Rice, I've got Gyokeres, but I feel like I haven't got the best one at the moment, and that is obviously Saka. I'm in this kind of mode at the moment where I was looking through and thinking, who are the talisman of the teams coming up? Like, who's going to be the guy that we're kind of depending on for the game weeks that are upcoming? And obviously, you've got Man City. It's going to be Haaland. So that's a guy that we've all obviously got to jump on. And Arsenal is surely going to be Saka now because he's getting those minutes under his belt. Like, obviously, in terms of points, like Urian Timber's doing really well and all these sorts of things. But I think as a talisman, Saka's probably your guy. And then so I look over at Liverpool and I'm like, well, who's Liverpool's? Is it going to be Salah, basically? Because you need it to be at that point. I don't think it is, mate.
It always has been. We've only ever known one version of this Liverpool team, and
we have.
Salah.
And that's the dilemma we're in, because we're looking Liverpool versus Man United, Salah against Man United, and you're thinking, well, historically, I need to back this guy. But Salah's historic form and his current form is so contrasted. And I just don't see how I can convince my brain that it's wise to keep Salah in my team and not have Saka right now.
Yeah, I think keeping Salah is fine, but not if it means you can't get to Bukayo. Like, Saka is the shout. And we didn't even mention with Saka, we're talking talisman, we now know, which we didn't know 2 weeks ago, Saka's also on pens. We didn't know that. We thought Gyokeres probably was, and that's huge too. That could be 5 extra goals a season, you know?
Yeah, and even if they're going to share them, I want both of them. I've said this before. Like I've got Gyokeres already, and he's been an okay own so far. It's becoming less convincing by the week, probably.
Yeah. There's no way he gets into a wildcard team right now, but if you own him, you might not be forced selling him.
Sure.
You know?
But I don't really need to sell him at this point. And so I like having both penalty takers, if you like. But yeah, at the moment, I'm struggling to make an argument for why I should keep Mo Salah over Saka. So let us know what you're doing in the chat. Ice G says, honestly, I expect Saka to get injured again in 2 weeks' time. Don't say that. Don't say that. I can't handle that. FPL Mackham says, I'm thinking the play is 4-5-1 to get Salah.
From 12 to get Salah. Okay, yeah. I mean, if you've used your bench boost, Mackham, I don't hate it, but let's see where he goes. At the moment, unless you're captaining him quite a bit, I don't see the value there. Like 14.5 million on a player, which you've got no interest in capping. But look, it's inevitable with Salah. It's definitely a case of when, not if. But we have to remember, this is now Arne Slot's team. Last season was still very much Jurgen Klopp's team, managed by Slot. He's now had the transfer window where he's gone big and he's producing a very different looking team. And we don't know how that evolves and how Salah evolves in that team with Isak, with Ekitike, with Wirtz. And I just think that goal share is going to dip for Mo. I mean, we mentioned Gyokeres in the chat, Dean. Really interesting because I don't think he's a good pick right now. I'd say he's more a sell than a hold. But I understand. I'm holding him because I don't think he's an urgent sell. Let's just do a poll. Gyokeres owners, are you looking to keep him long term or are you looking to move him on soon? We'll just do those 2 options on the poll. Or I don't own Gyokeres as option 3. But yeah, British 87, I'm not sold on Gyokeres. And then Mark straight away, the comment after that, I'm happy enough with Gyokeres as my Arsenal attacker. So it's really interesting, that one. I think if I'm on Wildcard, he's not even part of my plans, not even part of my thinking. But there is a shortage of forwards doing well. So if you've got him, there isn't necessarily a direct replacement to go and buy.
No, and there's been this kind of feeling in the game that forwards just aren't really worth having at the moment. There's no point having 3 forwards, really, that are actually going to play because they're so unreliable. And a lot of people are starting to ponder whether they should go 1 in attack and put 5 midfielders across, just because there are such an array of midfielders that you can pick for the points. And I do understand why you'd start to feel that way. I think that 3 forwards is starting to look a stretch right now. But typically we like to have it, don't we? Because usually it's a good backup for points.
Yeah. And we've got to keep Joao Pedro, in my opinion. Not called up for Brazil. He's had a rest. He's suspended in the Champions League. Premier League minutes look good and the Chelsea fixtures are so good. By the way, Gyokeres, get voting in the poll. And also, whilst you're hitting those vote buttons, seeing as you're feeling generous with your button pushing, do hit the like. We'd love you to do that. I've not liked. We're now on 16 likes. Come on, guys. We can get that way up. We can get to 100 likes before long, surely. And also, we'd love you to hit that subscribe button as well today if you're new around here. 18% are selling Gyokeres soon. 33% are keeping him, and around half, 50%, don't own him in the first place. Let's move on away from this and go to... I think we got... Well, should we go to the all about FPL graphic you shared, Dean? We'll change the conversation towards, I guess, DEFCON.
Yeah, we can go towards DEFCON. We have got some goal scoring stuff to do again.
Oh, let's do that now then.
You want to do goal scoring? Okay, we'll stick to goal scoring then. Because I did send in some stats too on expected goals and particularly a focus on Mateta. So let's show first of all the graphic that I sent in. This one. So here's the expected goals and the shots on target so far across this season. Look at that, Palace and Man United. So obviously we know that Palace have been one of the best and consistent teams in the Premier League. So we should start to have some trust in them. I'll talk about that in some detail in a second. But then Man United, I mean, it kind of goes against the narrative that we're led to believe that they're rubbish. But also, I guess it kind of marries up with the fact that they might be rubbish if they've got this many chances and they're not doing very well. So that's interesting.
Maybe their attack is good and their defense is bad, and that just brings out an average team.
And I think that is basically where we're at. I mean, inside United, I know that there is a belief that they are fluid going forward and they do create chances and they're actually reasonably happy with what they've got there. They just need to find the right combinations, and that they just haven't got that resistance and resolve about them when they get hit on the counter or if they're on the back foot. And obviously they are prone to making an individual error as well. So that's kind of where they are hit at the moment. But to just take it on to the players with the top 5 big chances missed. So these are the 5 players who missed more chances than anybody else. Love this. You get there, and there's no Man United players, to be fair. So once the graphic comes up, you'll see that
they've spread it around. They're all
there's not like a specific Man United player that is just underperforming right now. But over at Crystal Palace, there is one man that is underperforming in front of goal, and it's Mateta. It's a bit of a dilemma because, like, Mateta's a bit of a monster, right? He's looking good this season. He's an absolute unit. He causes chaos, but he's missed more big chances than anybody else in those opening game weeks. Haaland, we know he's missed a few, but it doesn't matter because he's going to be the top goal scorer in the league. Calvert-Lewin, we've seen the chances that he's missed too, but at least he's there. Semenyo, and then there's Gyokeres as well. So what do you read into that, mate, like with your expert eye?
Yeah, I mean, look, some of these are bad finishers, and over time, they don't hit their XG anyway, right? So let me give you a stat on Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Since 22-23 season, which I think was the Ancelotti season at Everton, where he did score loads of goals, and Ancelotti compared him to his Inzaghi. I'll never forget that. Wow. DCL has scored 13 goals from an XG of 27. At Leeds, he's already missed 9 of his 10 big chances. So yes, he has the minutes, and he has penalties. But boy, is he a bad finisher over a consistent time frame. Yeah. He isn't someone that will match his XG. So when you see big chances missed, that theme will probably continue. When you see someone like Mateta, who's underperformed his XG more than any other player in the Premier League so far this season, you go, it's fine. It's a small sample size. Over time, over a couple of seasons, unlike Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Mateta does hit his XG. Mateta is a good finisher, just like Haaland. They always hit their XG eventually. They're expected, right? And Mateta, the fact he's getting the chances, you go, yes, he's an FPL buy, because over time, he always converts them. Calvert-Lewin, you see getting the chances, and you don't go, he's a must buy, because he doesn't always convert them. Although it has to be said, he is a cheap enabler, and Leeds have got some good fixtures. Maybe Calvert-Lewin's fine. Yeah. Not for me, but I understand why you're going there. Yeah. And then you look at players like Semenyo, and it's just like he's scoring all sorts of goals from low chances, small chances, and of course he's missing some big ones, but you're happy he's just getting them. And then Gyokeres has been disappointing. There's no two ways about it. He's been disappointing so far. But again, I think in time, he'll get better. And now Saka's back in the team. Don't underestimate the impact that will have on Gyokeres. Gyokeres hasn't really been playing with Saka. Number 9s love playing with Saka. He's a dream to play with. So, yeah, it's interesting. And these are good metrics to look at for FPL. I look at Mateta, mate, and I look at Palace under Glasner. Mateta's been amazing since Glasner arrived. And they are scoring goals for fun. I mean, seeing them in that table there, second for XG and top for shots, like Mateta's a great buy. And he's on pens because Eze's not around anymore.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of expected goals, Mateta's only behind Erling Haaland at this stage.
Wow.
So the list of expected goals and individually so far is Haaland, who's clear in front. But then it's Mateta, Enzo Fernandes, Bruno Fernandes, and then Semenyo. Which is pretty interesting in terms of the way that is starting to take shape. When it comes to expected goal involvements, Mateta's in that too. He's third in that list. Haaland top, Bruno Fernandes first, Mateta third. Then you've got Enzo Fernandes, and then you've got Antoine Semenyo. But yeah, in terms of big chances missed, he's also there. Interestingly, the top 5 shot takers so far, we've got Haaland clear, 29 shots Haaland's had. Next up, you've got all of the rest on 17. Eze, Mateta, and Burmo and Semenyo have all had 17. So Haaland, like, out on his own in that sense. But again, Mateta is in that picture. So it's interesting, the fact that he's right in there. He's like always pretty much the closest guy to Haaland. Again, shots on target even. Haaland's got 14. Mateta's got 11. He's second in that list. So he's right there. It's just like, is he going to turn that maybe into a yes? And I don't know.
The 3 things that put you off Mateta: number 1, he's quite expensive, but I think he's fine in his price point. Number 2, Ismaila Sarr exists, who's $1 million less. And Sarri's going to match Mateta, I think, for output. Like, he gets the extra point for a goal, so he might score fewer, but, I think Sarr is a better pick than Mateta, although I think they're both outstanding. And then the number 3 thing about Mateta, when you look at Palace fixtures and you realise that they've got a small squad and they're playing in Europe and there's a big deal for Palace, there are minutes monsters in that team. I have no doubt Lacroix, Guéhi, Daniel Munoz, even Ismaila Sarr, they will play Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday. No problem at all. And they'll play lots of 90 all the time. Fitness monsters. Mateta isn't. Mateta isn't someone you play 90, 90, 90, especially when you got midweek football. So can they play Nketiah in some of those Thursday night European games? When you look at the fixtures, I would suggest they've got a couple of really good home fixtures against much smaller opposition coming up. He might just chuck an Nketiah in. And if he does, that is brilliant for Mateta getting 90 at the weekend. But the fear with Mateta is, are you going to get a load of 60 to 70 minute appearances in the Premier League? I actually don't think you will get that many, but I think many are put off by the fact you might.
Yeah, I think that too. There's just always that fear as well that Palace are going to have a wobble. And if that happens, then you're scared about what it comes. I think Sarr is the guy I would still go for personally at Palace when available. But Mateta definitely making us think a little bit. I'm interested to see if like Voltemada can get into this conversation. I mean, he doesn't at the moment. I guess he hasn't had that all-round involvement yet. He's just kind of taking the chances as they come. But in terms of efficiency, he's been right up there and somebody that we need to keep an eye on at the very least. So yeah, that's where we are with our goals and our strikers at the moment. So that gives you all something to ponder as you think about your forward line.
Yeah, nice. So let's talk about 2 players and the transfers out then for Salah and Joao Pedro. We've spoken Salah and we've touched on Joao Pedro. But Dean, what do you make of these numbers? Because, I mean, look, already this game week so far, and this was taken 2 days ago, like 405,000, it's probably over 500,000 managers now that have sold Mo Salah. And that is a way of getting the funds to get to Erling Haaland. I think that's where a lot of people are going with that money. And obviously with that, it's a little bit of surgery. It's 400. Yeah, okay. I've just checked. It's 444 at the moment. So it's gone up a little bit since this graphic. And Joao Pedro's 253 instead of 266. So that's going to keep it up. Well, I think it's dangerous versus Man United to sell Salah.
I don't.
Do you not?
I don't
I
anymore.
feel like he's going to score against United.
He might
I still
score
don't know
one.
if he's the best to own, because I think if you haven't got Saka, you get to him.
He might score one against Man United, but I'm no longer setting the bar as high for him in terms of what we're going to miss out on. And that's why I'm less scared of doing it this week, ditching him and getting Saka in. Because the thing is, for me, particularly, is that I've got 2 free transfers. So if I'm taking Salah out, I'm bringing in Saka and Kudus. And I have reasonable level of confidence that by making those switches, it'll probably be like Dewsbury Hall as well, say, that also goes.
Yeah.
And so I don't feel that concerned about losing Salah in a scenario like that one. So this Salah figure is going to go up and up.
Yeah, it could reach 700,000-800,000.
Could it? Yeah. I mean, I was going to say to you, how do you read that at this stage? Because who would normally have made their transfer already compared to what's 50%? To come?
Not even. So yeah. And there'll be a lot that I think will be. I think there's a lot still in the international break that wouldn't have made a decision yet on Wildcard, and will possibly hit that Wildcard button in the next couple of days. Now, I don't think anyone on Wildcard's really going Mo Salah. In fact, FPL Chai is, but Chai is the only one I know that it would go Salah. I think it's mad that he's not going Saka. Joao Pedro, let us know in the chat. We'll do a poll in the chat. And guys, thank you for watching, by the way. We've got almost 200 of you in now, which is great. But do hit that like and subscribe button, guys. We would love you to do that. Joao Pedro, is he a buy, a hold, or a sell? Let us know in the chat. If we want to make that even easier for you, we could say, what are your plans with Joao Pedro? Holding him, selling him soon, or don't own, like we did with Gyokeres. What are your plans, Dean? Is he in your team? He isn't, is he?
No, he's not even in my thoughts, mate, to be honest.
Is he not?
No.
The Chelsea fixtures and the price, he's still cheap. Like, I know the shots on target and stuff have been rubbish, but he's a Chelsea attacker that's guaranteed to start with good league minutes, possibly on pens and great fixtures.
I know. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that he's. Maybe it's the Chelsea thing that always skews me, but yeah, I'm just not. I mean, the Sunderland game, I guess, coming up is a good one. It's Forest this weekend, right? It's
Forest and Ange. We love playing against Ange defenses. The chat is so mixed on this. Biggest trap going, says Nicholas. We got some great comments on Joao Pedro.
I don't know necessarily that Joao Pedro is the guy that scores against this Forest team. That's what I would say. Like, the way that Forest are going to play, I'd be more inclined to go with one of the wide players or even Enzo Fernandes.
Estaviao. Yeah, but I mean, it's the high line. So if Joao Pedro is playing number 9, it could be any of the front 3 that get him behind.
Yeah, but with the high line, I always kind of imagine that Joao Pedro might even stay with the line while somebody else goes in behind.
He does that a lot, to be fair. He's quite good at that.
And that's kind of what his role, in my mind, would be in that situation. Like, you'd kind of come short so that somebody else goes in. And so that's why I'd probably wonder if it would be Estaval or somebody else that goes in and uses their pace. Garnacho.
Maresca's spoken about him playing that role really well, and actually how Liam Delap struggles to do that, and how they're so the profile of 9 is different. Not many see Joao Pedro as someone that's quite a good hold up link player, but he's actually really good at it.
Yeah. So, like, this is only obviously my personal feeling about like how Joao Pedro is going to play in this instance, but I just don't think he'll be the guy that makes the most of the way that Forest play. I've got a feeling it might be somebody else that kind of pounces on their flaws. I obviously expect Chelsea to win this game, and it might turn out to be the nail in the coffin for Ange Postecoglou, but it's a tough one. It's still a good buy, like you say, because of the value and the price point compared to other forwards. I don't want to put you off of doing that, because I think that, for example, if you were wildcarding and you were like, should I pick Joao Pedro or Gyokeres, then I'd be saying go Joao Pedro.
Yeah,
like,
that was something I did with my draft. Yeah.
But in my forward line at the moment, I'll stick with Gyokeres rather than look to bring in Joao Pedro. But again, that's a bit of a punt.
Yeah, fair. JP needs Palmer. I would say, look, Palmer's clearly a great a huge miss for the Chelsea attack, and he makes all the others better. Enzo, part of this conversation, should be discussed. Enzo's getting a lot of love in the community, Dean. A lot are on Wildcard and they're picking Enzo. And they're maybe not picking Joao Pedro. They're perhaps going with one Chelsea attacker or even both because they like the Chelsea fixtures. And the win against Liverpool has made people go, oh, I want to get more Chelsea again. I still question Chelsea. I think they're pretty inconsistent. I think with the Champions League is a huge distraction this season that they'll struggle to compete on both fronts. Enzo's great. I owned him a lot last year. He dodged a lot of points. He reminds me a bit like a Gundogan or a Reinders. He has that good box crashing ability where he can get late on crosses, good timing, quite a good finish. Took the penalty earlier this season with Joao Pedro on the pitch. No Palmer. Whether or not he takes the next one remains to be seen. He's not injured. I don't think he's injured. There's a lot of worry.
I'm going to say, what about this strapping on his knee? What do we think of that?
He's been sent. He's not playing for Argentina. He's been sent home. So's Ollie Watkins from England duty, and I bet Ollie Watkins plays for Villa at the weekend. The internationals that these players are missing aren't like huge football matches. Like even Haaland went home early, not with a reported injury, I should add. But it was like, why are we going to play Haaland versus New Zealand? Norway are qualified. It's a friendly. Just send him home, give him a rest. And I just feel Enzo's had that similar agreement. So yes, maybe a slight knock. We've seen some strapping. I don't think it's anything to worry about. Again, he is someone that always seems to be fit. He doesn't miss many games, Enzo. No. I'd be surprised if he doesn't start.
Yeah. So if he's fit, he's definitely a good pick at 6.7 mil. I do like it. I'd probably be more inclined to consider him than I would Joao Pedro.
Would you?
Yeah, I think so.
Should we do a poll? Which, if you could only own one, who would you go for?
Yeah.
On Wildcard. Let's go. Yeah. Like if you're on Wildcard, you can only pick one Chelsea attacker. Is it Enzo or Joao Pedro?
Yeah.
I think that'll be a 50-50 poll, you know.
It'd be a tough one. Yeah. Personal preference as well. But I just think, in terms of data, what do you think is more reliable?
Yeah, I mean, Enzo's got all the good underlines, which is why, like, if you're into your FPL algorithm picks, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's making it in a lot of content creators teams because that's what the algorithm's saying. Like, they're going 90 minutes on penalties, good fixtures. Enzo is the same. The algorithm feeds you on penalties. It's so boring. Honestly, I wish if I could do one rule for FPL next season. They've lowered the bonus points you get now for scoring a penalty. Lower the points you get for scoring a penalty, please. Please. I hate it. A penalty goal should be worth half points for a goal. Like, or just do three points across the board. If you're a midfielder, you get 3. If you're a forward, you get 3. But it's 3 points, not 4 or not 5. It kills me. It's so boring.
Yeah. What do you... There's definitely been an uplift this season in the amount of people relying on AI and stuff for their teams. Like people aren't even hiding it anymore. I think like up to now, people were kind of like doing it in the dark.
Yeah. There's content creators I know that have only now been made it's only now been made obvious that they're AI managers.
Is that because
like, you're a massive content creator and you've literally been copying FPL Review for 4 seasons?
I just don't see the point. It's my personal feeling. I just don't see the point. I mean, you can follow data if that's what but like following AI and algorithms is just like anyone could do that. Like,
mate, if you see an identical team to your own, and I'm talking 15 out of 15, the same players, that should be impossible in a game of hundreds of
people.
Imagine you and I having the same 15. How boring would that be? Well, let me tell you, there's a lot of people with the same 15.
Is there really? Yeah, I haven't gone that deep to see how many people have got the same team, but I've just noticed the transparency that now exists in terms of like kind of being more upfront about people just being like, well, use this tool and this is what's being predicted. But I don't see so far results that reflect it being any better than trusting yourself.
No, I mean, the AI and the template, if you like, hasn't done well this season because they avoided players like Ekitike because they were rotation risks. And the AI bots, they like 90 minutes, they like good fixtures, and they like penalties. And they like a few other bits, of course. Ekitike had okay fixtures, wasn't playing 90, wasn't on pens, was quite expensive. Like, Ekitike is one of so many examples I could give you. But for example, let's say Semenyo. Until we found out 2 weeks ago he was on pens, he probably wouldn't have been that fancied. He would have been like fairly popular, but not overly fancy. It would have been he's scoring low XG goals. They don't like that. They like to see high XG in conversions. And he's not got the pens. And Cliver is a lot cheaper and on pens. And then you see him on pens, which was such a rubbish piece of information for me. Like, I was picking Semenyo for so many reasons. The fact he got pens is like neither here nor there for me as an FPL manager. But for so many, that's the bit that flips it. And he then goes from quite popular to completely AI template pick just because of the pen. And it's rubbish. I hate it.
It is interesting. Yeah, a lot of people discussing it in the comments. Get your thoughts in on what you guys think of AI, whether you've considered it, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, because I'm genuinely intrigued by this. Obviously, it's a growing phenomenon in all areas of our lives, like work, like general life, like shopping lists or FPL, like whatever it is now, like people are using. It's funny, while my mum's staying here in San Diego, the apartment that she's in, she has the fridge is one of those ones that tells her like when you're out of stuff.
Love that.
And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, we don't need to think anymore. But in FPL, it just kind of blows my mind that that's how people have fun playing the game. It's not that like if you want to do that, then fine. But like, I don't see how you can have fun with it. So that's why.
I think the AI has got a place in FPL in terms of like reviewing your team. And I know there's lots of sites out there that will go, you've got an 81% rating from whatever profile. I don't mind looking at it and going, oh, that's interesting. Do I need to make some tweaks? But just letting a computer make your picks for you, if that's how you get enjoyment out of the game, fine. But that will never be me in terms of enjoyment out of the game. But yeah. We've got to get what we want. Mate, talk to me about the smart fridge, because I've been listening to the Buckley's podcast, which is James Buckley and his wife. James Buckley is Jay from the Inbetweeners, for those that don't know, who might be making a reunion, by the way. And he's really into his gadgets and his gimmicks. And his wife hates the fact he spunks loads of money on these gimmicks. He's just bought one of these fridges, but it was so advanced, he managed to get locked out by it, so he couldn't get into his fridge. So all the food ended up going off, which is ironic because it's meant to be that you're like constantly able to like do your shopping list and stuff. But does it link to like a supermarket for online deliveries?
It can order. It can order for you. Yeah, it can literally you can now order it straight from wherever it's linked to, and you'll just get a top up of what's to come, which is it's kind of similar to what you get on apps anyway. You can have on Amazon where it automatically reorders stuff. But yeah, the fridges are now linking in. My mum is not enjoying it. She's just turned it off because she does not want it. She's like, this is crazy. I can look in her fridge and figure out if I'm out of milk. But yeah, it's fridges, FPL, all the same thing these days.
Jay's one has a camera inside it, so when you're in the supermarket, if you want to look at your camera,
I've heard of these ones.
Let me just check how low the milk is. It will show.
I need that because I'm just a very forgetful person.
Yeah.
We got a super chat in from Zubin. Thank you very much, mate. Pick 2 from Pedro, Voltemada, Mateta, and Bowen on Wildcard 8.
Shall we go to the wildcard discussion now, Zubin? Because this is for you, Zubin. But let me show you a wildcard draft that I like, and I've got 2 of those forwards. 2 of those 4 are on.
Let's do it.
Do we want to go with Kai's dilemma first, or do we go to the wildcard team first?
Go to the wildcard team first. Well, I'll just also sum up the poll that we just put up. It said, if on wildcard, who would you pick between Enzo and Joao Pedro? Enzo won. Enzo got 56% of the vote.
I thought that'd be close to a 50-50. So Zubin, I think Voltemada's a really good option. And the more I look at it, I'm like, should I be going Voltemada instead of Joao Pedro or Mateta? My only concern with Voltemada is, and it's similar with Mateta, as we've discussed, it's the sets of 90 and the Champions League distraction. I just think with Palace's fixtures coming up, Mateta might see some rotation for Nketiah. I don't think Eddie Howe can afford to rotate Voltemada. I think what we're going to see is a lot of 60, 70, 80-minute subs, but he'll start every game. But with that, I do worry a little bit about the early subs. Vissa's not fit. Vissa's going to be back in like a month's time, and then he goes to the AFCON like a month later. So they've only got one number 9 pretty much till January. They need to keep Voltemada fit. and he's not conditioned enough yet to play 90-90-90 midweek and at the weekend. So that's the only reason for not going Walter, but I think he's a great option. I also think Gordon will have penalties over him. We know that, actually. Gordon does have penalties over him. Yes, he took a pen. Gordon was off the pitch. Gordon scored 3 days before that when Walter was on the pitch. And Walter wanted that second pen, and Gordon wouldn't even let him take it. So Walter is great. I don't love Bowen as a forward. If he was a midfielder, he'd be under really strong consideration. But still, I don't know how many goals West Ham are going to score, even under Nuno. He'll lock up the defence first. So my wild card goes Mateta and Joao Pedro Zubin to answer your question. But it's a close race, of course. But Dean, this is eggs in baskets. 3 Palace, 2 Bournemouth, 3 Arsenal, and double Man City. So double and triple ups on only 5 teams.
Pretty good, though. I like it.
And then a little bit of Chelsea, Newcastle, and Burnley. Whatever.
Scattering, yeah.
Double
I like it, mate. I think this is very, very solid. It's better than one my 5-year-old pick today. I can tell you that much.
Well, he's beating me in FPL, so
he is beating you, yeah. So it might prove to be a load of rubbish. But on an eye test, I give you the nod over Reece. I don't. Really
Would you go double Arsenal defence? I feel like they're just so solid. They've conceded like 3 goals this season.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really criticise it. Whether I would do it, I don't know. But whether I could criticise it, I'd say no. Just a very solid choice. I'm trying to think of something I definitely wouldn't do. And
double Palace attack, is that too? Do you like? I mean, you showed us the numbers earlier, and that backs this up.
Well, if he's backing it up, and it's on an eye test, you can see how they play too. So I wouldn't say that it's a bad thing. Goalkeeper, I don't know if I'd choose Pope, but it's a guess,
Yeah. I just like Newcastle as well. I think it's 5 clean sheets. Shashank
said, exactly. Their clean sheet record is good. So I just don't necessarily like Pope as a pick, but his stats tell me I'm wrong.
Ramsdale might get some minutes, but he's not at all yet. And Pope's done all right. But Derek says, I'm surprised how template is. Well, Derek, it's not my actual team. So this is just a wildcard draft. Shashank, Alderete is injured. Guys, honestly, the amount of worry we have in international breaks around injuries. Watch Ollie Watkins start at the weekend. Watch Enzo Fernandes start at the weekend. And Alderete, I don't know much about this one, but I know he went off for Paraguay. There's a very good chance he's fine. Don't worry too much. The international break injuries, the fear-mongering, it's so clickbaity. Like, most of these players will be fine. Sure. There will be players that get injured in international breaks, but we don't know Alderete is injured for Sunderland at the weekend versus Wolves. Wait to the press conference on Friday and we might get a bit more info. Look for training ground photos. FPL Amateur, did AI create this? Very good, very good, very good. I don't think AI teams would be going Munoz, by the way. Munoz is someone that they would go to a DEFCON magnet at Palace. Lacroix, Richards, Gahey, all cheaper, all getting DEFCON. They certainly wouldn't be going for a double Palace attack. And I don't think they'd be going double Sunderland either.
No, probably not double Sunderland. Why Saka? Why did you pick him at 5? Like, what?
Do you know what? He's the only 5 million mid, which gets the DEFCON, but also has some attacking output. Like he's had loads of assists this season, set pieces. I think the fact he's on corners is quite good, and Sunderland is so good at them. Yeah. And mate, his DEFCON numbers have been super impressive.
I know his DEFCON has, I assume that's why he did it, but yeah.
And I don't want to say it, but he took a penalty for Switzerland in the break, and I think he might be on pens for Sunderland.
You picked him for the pens, fine. Just admit it.
Yeah, I actually think he will be on pens for Sunderland because he's on everything else, and he's captain, he's the main man. So yeah, I like this wildcard team. And if you do have a wildcard left, I do think now's the time to pull the trigger, guys, because you're going to get 5 free transfers in game week 16 for AFCON.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Yeah. And people I don't know if they're forgetting this or not clued into it, but we've still got a lot to do. And we're not that far now from the end of from the halfway stage where we can reset our chips. Let's flip this onto the wildcard dilemma that we've been sent in by one of our elite members. Remember, you can become an elite member too. If you go to the homepage on YouTube, you'll see the button there and you can sign up, and you can also join our WhatsApp group. So have a look at that. This was from Kai, who is unclear. Let me just get the message up that he sent along with this.
Oh, yeah, he's got like 4 free transfers, isn't he?
Yeah, so he's got 4 free transfers, but tinkering with activating the wild card. Can't make up my mind to either use my free transfer to build a new team or just wild card. Do you guys think I missed too many players that it's worth wild carding right now? So what your instinct, you're nodding. So how many players is he missing?
Yeah, guys, we'll do a poll for this. Should Kai wildcard this team, yes or no? And I'm going to say yes, even though it doesn't need a wildcard. I think it benefits from one. And importantly, there's been a rule change with FPL. We can now carry, we couldn't always carry transfers over the wildcard. We can now. And you can carry up to 5. Kai's got 4.
Mm-hmm.
Your wildcard now, you can have 5 free transfers next week. Like, how good is that? And you can keep carrying them. So when you think you might need to wildcard in game week, whenever, you'll have them. And look, if I'm on wildcard now, I am not keeping any of that back 5. Maybe Diouf. And by the way, it's been reported that Nuno at West Ham has been training with a back 5. If he goes with a back 5 at West Ham, Diouf is going to be amazing because he's going to be like a winger. But you're getting rid of all the others. You're changing Verbruggen. You might go to Dubravka and Pope or Dubravka and Raya. The midfield is good. Like, I don't think you need. I think other than Saka, Saka for Salah could be your only tweak, and then up front it depends if you want a dead spot. But I'm guessing you've still got your bench boost, and therefore players like Krupa Jr. you'll probably want to move on with the bench boost in mind. So even if it's just for wholesale changes at the back, and then 1 or 2 in attack, it's still worth a wild card. You could sort all that out with 4 free transfers, but ideally you'd sort it out with 5 or 6. And the fact you can carry your transfers, I'd use it.
Yeah, I like it too. I think so. If you were to whittle this down and you were to pick a lineup, like, the thing is, the 4 transfer thing is interesting, but like you say, because you can carry on the extra transfer, you might as well just wildcard. Like, I think it's a no-brainer. Like, you can put yourself in a really strong position for this game week, and you're so adaptable over the next two weeks as well, if there's any problems. So I think I would wildcard. The chat actually isn't really that agreeing. A lot of people in the chat are saying that 4 free transfers, just use them.
What's the poll saying? Here we go. Let's have a look. Oh, 64-36. But it's going to be it's personal preference, this one. It's just a defensive point. What this team doesn't have is any Arsenal, and straight away you're going double Arsenal defence and Saka. So that's bringing in 3 Arsenal. I think you want to bring in Newcastle defenders with their fixtures. So just for Arsenal and Newcastle defence, I changed the keeper. So I mean
5 straight away.
Players like Minter and Reinders and Semenyo, I've got those 3 midfielders in my wild card from last week. Would you be keeping Bruno on a wild card? That's a good question. Let's talk Bruno. Where's the chat at? Because everyone that wildcarded in 6, which is what the AI bots and the algorithm most did, and most content creators went game week 6, and they all pretty much bought Bruno. But I think a lot of them will be selling Bruno this week to get to Saka. Is Bruno someone you would? If you owned Bruno, would you be selling him? Yes or no? We'll poll it.
Like, what is the true expectation of him each week now?
DEFCON, and it's in a very expensive DEFCON magnet.
It is, isn't it? Because you're not getting much inspiration. There was one game, I can't even remember what game it was now, but he was literally a driving force. He was pushing through the middle. He hit a couple of shots from distance that I think went just wide. But I remember watching one game and I was like, whoa, this is like old Bruno. But typically you're not seeing that week on week on week. And so obviously the whole new DEFCON thing, but it doesn't excite me enough to have him in there instead of ditching Fernandes, ditching Salah, getting in, say, Saka and Kudus or something, I don't know. But for much less money than this.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's very expensive for the output you get away from
25 million of your budget, a quarter of your budget has gone on Bruno and Mo Salah.
That's
crazy.
For me, he's not a me type own at the moment. I owned him a lot at times last year, but I need Bruno playing number 10. I need Bruno in one of the 2 behind the 9 to go there. I just think I need open play. I need more than DEFCON. And by the way, owners have been unlucky. Like, he's missed 2 penalties of his 3. He's had 11 DEFCON, I think, now in the last 2 weeks, 10 or 11 in the last 3, I think it is. Obviously, you need 12 to get the extra point, but still, it's a lot of spend. And United's fixtures are tough. I would be going Saka straight away if I own Bruno. You only need to find another, 0.8 or whatever it is. Like, it's a huge upgrade, that.
Yeah, massive upgrade.
Yeah. Guys, we're loving all your comments. Get them in. Thank you very much. In terms of Bruno, would you sell him? A lot are saying they would sell him if they owned him, like 73%, which is really interesting. Guys, we would love you to hit that like button today. I'm just going to refresh my screen, but surely we can get the likes up and over 100. England are playing tonight, and I wonder if that's why it's a little bit quiet. But Dean, I mean, an England game against Latvia, is that one you even watch? Like, I have no interest in internationals like that. When it's big team playing minnow, I've got zero interest.
It's like when we played Wales the other day. They're obviously a minnow. But you know what annoyed me about that was that with Tuchel's comments, and he's like, talking about how well they play. I was like, no, we were 3-0 up after like, whatever it was, 20 minutes. I was like, we should have beaten them 8-0. Like, why did you not put your foot down? Then come out and say you should be noisier. Like, don't give them nothing for the whole of the second half or whatever. So, will I watch it? Yes, of course I will. Will I be looking around the room at times, looking for something else to capture my attention, struggle with focus? Yes, I probably will too. I actually, last time, when England played Serbia away, granted, I didn't expect us to win 5-0, but I did make sure that I could focus. I went to as an English pub, and I thought, that'll keep my focus. I won't be just sat there on my phone or anything. I went to the pub, and I thought it would be busy. There was like 5 people there, 5 people. So I literally just sat right in front of the screen, ordered in couple of sausage rolls and a Diet Coke, and sat there pretending I was back in England for a couple of hours, but it kept my attention. But yeah, Saka does play for England tonight, so there you go. That's a good reason to watch.
Oh God, please don't get injured. That's the only reason I would watch. Actually, is like it's just to make sure I'm not getting any injuries. Do we have the England lineup then?
We do. We got Pickford in goal. We got Lewis Skelly, Konza, John Stones and Jed Spence. And we've got Elliot Anderson and Declan Rice. And then we've got Anthony Gordon, Morgan Rogers and Saka supporting Harry Kane.
He likes Rogers and Gordon, doesn't he? He likes Rogers and Gordon.
They should absolutely batter him, shouldn't they? Like that should be an absolute pacing. So let's see how many they actually manage to score. A man says Saka injury in 20 minutes. No. Mark says sausage rolls in San Diego. Thought it was a health conscious town. You can go down whichever path you choose, Mark. And if you're in the English pub, not too many health-conscious options. And sausage rolls are hard to come by over here. FPL Mackham says you wouldn't order a Diet Coke in England. That is true, actually. I don't think I've ever drunk Diet Coke in England. But out here, it's like a go-to.
Your soft drinks are ridiculous, mate. I can't. The big things that everyone drinks. Every car,
the big gulps,
have like
the big gulps.
Every Uber driver has it. And
it's because they're like $1.
It's when you see that when you appreciate how much bad stuff is in that huge drink.
I don't drink those. Don't worry. I'm not drinking those.
Good.
Let's get
your kids will be on a sugar rush if they're on there.
Oh my god, they love a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
FPL Amateur. What position is best to be a dead spot on the bench, financial wise, fodder?
Yeah, I mean, like 4 million defenders, the obvious one. But if you can have a 4.5 dead spot in an attacker, your 8th attacker. Probably your 3rd forward because there's more midfielder options usually, and you want the 5 spots available to you. But I start the season with Mark Guiu and then change things up. But yeah, I mean, if you've used your bench boost already, having a dead spot's not a bad shout. I've got a 4 million defender, but I actually start him quite a bit because it's Mukiele of Sunderland who I like. So I don't think you necessarily even need a dead spot in attack. You go 4.5 million dead spot, or 4.4 million dead spot, or 4.3 million dead spot like Mark Guiu. Or if you can find the 0.1, you get a Josh King for 4.5 that actually starts football matches. I went Lewis Miley, which was very controversial on this channel because I needed a 4.4 enabler.
Yeah, people hated it. People left the channel.
That. And they forgot the fact that the reason I went Lewis Miley was so I could buy Erling Haaland, who I triple captained for a massive return. Like, it was a great move. And then I wildcarded him out the week later anyway.
Saved your season, mate.
Yeah, it may have done. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Guys, thank you so much to people like Offcore. Jay is now a premium chaser for 13 months. He says like, share,
13 months.
subscribe.
That's great, isn't it? Thank you so much. Andrew gives us some optimism. He says there's only one more international break until game week 32.
And it comes in November, annoyingly.
It's annoying that it's soon, but isn't it nice then that we'll have a stretch?
Yeah, and actually that November, have you seen the fixtures? It's all just friendlies pretty much. It's like and a lot of the teams that would have qualified would have already qualified.
It'll be a bit dead, won't it, for a lot of teams?
There'll be a lot of injuries where players just have a break.
So we're going in for an amazing December, basically.
Do you know what, mate? For content, it's my favourite month of the year.
I might come back to England in December. I'm very tempted. I want to get some games.
Do it. What about for Christmas? Are you in San Diego?
I'm staying here for Christmas, but I might come home
a bit before or after, yeah. Mate, I mean, with the midweek rounds of Premier League action, we'll have some deadlines where it'll be like a Tuesday night deadline. And for content, because everyone's off from work, in terms of like YouTube views and stuff, the busiest time of the year is pre-season and then December. Like December is busier than October and November, even though it's later into the season, because everyone's off from work and there's so many deadlines and so many game weeks. I love December.
Yeah,
it's good loads of fun.
It is going to be fun. It is going to be fun. We've got 7 minutes left of the show.
We didn't do all the graphics, did we?
I don't think we did get through all the graphics.
Well,
we've got the DEFCONs. We've got the DEFCONs to come. Yeah, let's finish with the DEFCON. Let's try all of that. Offcore wants to make the ultras all meet up.
Oh yeah, I've got an ultras group which Jay is in charge of a meet up in December. So mate, if we get that planned,
really? Wow.
My aim is like middle of the country, and I've said let's go to a Coventry game because I'm all about Coventry now because Frank Lampard's just so good.
Okay, okay, we can aim for it. Let me see what I can do. Give me the dates. Right, midfielders with the most DEFCONs. This is for me the most overlooked aspect of the game, mate. I have not picked my team 1 week yet based on this. So like I've had a decent start. I'm 400 and something thousandth in the game, right? So it's decent. And so far I have completely ignored what I could be bringing in terms of DEFCON. So help me. Go.
I still think it's better for defenders than midfielders. I thought the reason FPL made it 12 for midfielders and 10 for defenders was when you look over time, the last 5 seasons, it's the midfielders that are cleaning up. Pre-season, we did loads of shows where we went, Declan Rice, amazing. Midfielders, they're going to get all the DEFCON. The Premier League has changed and managers have changed their tactics. We're seeing a lot more long ball in the Premier League and we're seeing a lot more reliance on set pieces in the Premier League. And when I say set pieces, I mean long throws as well as corners. Now, who are the biggest beneficiaries when we're talking about set pieces, defending? It's always the centre-backs. Who are the biggest beneficiaries when we're seeing a shift to long ball football? Bournemouth do it so well, back to front really quickly. The centre-backs. So actually, whilst these guys are great for DEFCON, I would argue still concentrate on goals and assists when picking your midfielders because they're up against players. There's cheap, good players in midfield that like Ismail Assar, 6.5 million. He's worth the extra because he's going to be getting loads of goals and assists. Now, sure, sometimes the DEFCON players like Caicedo go and score, but he scored 3 goals in 6-7 games. I think he scored 3 goals in 100 games before that. Like, that's not going to continue. I still think DEFCON is massive for centre-backs. I don't think it's as big as perhaps this graphic would make out for midfielders. I don't think it should be a huge priority. Like, my best 5 million midfielder in the game right now isn't a DEFCON guy. It's Tijani Reinders at 5.7 or whatever he is now. I still think he is the best in that price band. And he ain't going to get many DEFCONs. No, but I think he's going to get a couple of hauls. And already we've seen, 5 blanks this season from Reinders, but we've seen 2 double-digit returns or close to. And I think that's what you want from your 5 millions because you're only going to play him in selected weeks, right? This player, Caicedo or Cullen or Garner, they're probably your 8th attacker. So if you're only putting him... So the fact they're getting a baseline of 4 or 5 points each week is irrelevant because they're on your bench. But when they play Burnley at home and you bring them in, do you want the 4-pointer from them? Or do you want the Reinders who plays Burnley at home that can go and get a 12-pointer? When you're bringing them off the bench, you're not looking for a high floor. You're looking for a high ceiling. And these guys have all got high floors. I want the high ceiling guy coming off the bench for that one good fixture every month.
Yeah, I like it. Well, your Saka pick's looking good, mate. Once I see this, I understand exactly why he's in a wild card that you would have been advising on. So I like that. I just don't ever. Let me just look at my team a second. I don't know if I've got any players in my actual team that are in there for what I could get off of this aspect. I just don't think. I guess I've got Declan Rice, so I guess he must do okay in that aspect, but it's not why I've got him. My midfield at the moment is Salah, Semenyo, Reinders, Rice, Dewsbury Hall. But considering I'm taking Dewsbury Hall and Salah out for Saka and probably Kudus, like you can see where my head goes to straight away. Is Kudus the right pick, or should I be going for Saka?
Kudus is great. I still think Dewsbury Hall's a really good own, though, because again, he is someone that you'll be benching a lot of the time, but you can bring in for a potential haul. Because I like his average position. He's so high in the 10 and he is on corners. I think Dewsbury Hall's still a really good... I think I prefer Dewsbury Hall to a lot of these players on screen.
Oh, interesting.
Kudus is great, though, right?
Well, he's their best player. And as I say, I'm looking for if I'm looking at talisman,
he's the one.
And he's the one.
But who are you going to be benching every week? If you're selling Dewsbury Hall, do you not then have a bit of a benching dilemma if you're replacing him with a 7 million mid?
Well, I'll be doing like a 3-5-2.
Yeah,
once I get into this situation. So I'll be my third striker, which is currently Muniz, will be benched, and then I'll have like I don't know Van Heck and someone else or another defender on the bench. So I'll just be going down that path.
Senior 1000 says he prefers Sarr over Kudus, and I would say I agree. I like them both a lot, but Sarr is cheaper, and I do prefer Palace for goals than Spurs. Spurs seem a little bit under Frank. I feel like they're not going to concede many, but I feel like they're not going to score that many either. They're a bit boring at the minute. Spurs.
Frank does want another attacker to come in.
Does he?
Yeah, he's very keen for that to happen. So we'll see whether that happens. Coming up, Maliki says Grealish not being allowed to play versus City is nonsense. They gave Shirky his squad number, so he's not going back there. I noticed quite a few people bought Grealish in for this game week. I can't remember who posted it, but there was like there was a lot of people who have transferred Grealish in. And yeah, don't forget, he is ineligible to play against City because they are his parent club.
Criminal.
But it does mean that Grealish would have had a long break, like not being involved in the international break, not playing in that game. When it comes out the other side, Grealish is like fresh as a daisy and definitely worth considering.
Yeah, he's loads of fun, Grealish. Guys, the watch has hopefully been fun for you guys. If you have got anything from the stream, the one thing we'd love you to do today is hit the subscribe button. If you feel like you've got any information or any good nuggets, or you've enjoyed the show or you want to come back for more, hit the notification bell when you subscribe. Obviously, the like on the way out. Did we ever get to 100 likes, guys, before we go? Come on, I'm going to refresh my screen to see it. Come on. Oh, it's so close. No. 87.
Well, we'll get there on the catch-ups. We'll get there.
Yeah,
that was good. Thanks everyone who tuned in today and getting back into the vibes of FPL. We appreciate you.
Yeah, guys, we will see you later in the week. We're going to do a deadline stream on Saturday, but I think we're going to be back before that for a quickfire stream as well, maybe Thursday or Friday. So stay tuned for that. And then Saturday morning, before all the YouTubers go live, CJ, as always, will be with you on the deadline stream as well. So probably 8 a.m. UK time. See you later.